Hi, it's Andrew from Vocabulary Ninja. Vocabulary is something that underpins absolutely everything that we do in the classroom as teachers, as we try to develop our pupils' understanding and knowledge of the wider curriculum. Both my book and my website are there for you guys, supporting you to develop that understanding for pupils in the classroom. Both my book and the website are crammed full of workload-free strategies, resources and ideas to help you unlock those doors to the world of understanding. VocabularyNinja.co.uk has a wealth of resources and activities for you to use freely as a teacher, but also as an element where you can subscribe. The subscribe aspect of the website contains thousands of resources associated with the development of vocabulary, spelling, punctuation and grammar, and the development of reading comprehension. The resources are straightforward and simple to use and are designed to take that workload element away from teachers so that we can get that impact in the classroom linked and associated to vocabulary and reading. Right now is the perfect time to subscribe to vocabularyninja.co.uk. We're just about to add some amazing new resources. Our EYFS word of the day, fully focused and ready to bring to life the understanding of words linked to the phonics phases. We have a whole school spelling system, every single rule explored. We have a whole school arithmetic system. We even have a SPAG starter activity system that will be used in every single year group. So a really exciting time and thousands of new resources being added in the very near future.
For coming on and explaining this fabulous site to us. I actually used to have a subscription myself to this site when I was in the UK, but I hadn't renewed it when I was working in Qatar, and I decided to renew my subscription myself there last week, and I just couldn't get over how much more resources were on it from when I used to use it myself. So I went through a few of the packs a couple of days ago on my stories, but I think it's easier for you to see it if I show you myself. So obviously this is all included in your subscription, all of these different types, and as Andrew said, they are adding more and more resources all the time. So I really liked this vocabulary library pack in particular. And when you think of the amount of work that has gone into this, it's incredible. So they've got all these different book titles here. So I'm just going to choose Fantastic Mr. Fox just because I read it this year with my kids. And what they've done is they've gone through these books and picked out some. So here they kind of explain the different tiered words from vocabulary that children need to know, and then they go through each chapter and list the good vocabulary that's in it, and then they break them down into tier 1, 2 and 3 words. I just think it's fantastic as a way for us to not have to think about what vocabulary could be really good for our kids to know, what vocabulary we should be pointing out, what vocabulary we need to tell them about, because sometimes I feel when you're reading a story you kind of get into it so much that you forget which words. So it's just kind of a good way for you to know which words are needing to be pointed out, I suppose. So that's the vocabulary library, and that's just one of the books that I'm going through there. Obviously there's loads and loads of different books on there. Sorry, some of them aren't loading. But yeah, really think this is a really beneficial part of Vocabulary Ninja, and that's only one section. So I'm going to go through a couple of the other ones now in a minute. I think of when I think of Vocabulary Ninja is the word of the day. And that's what I used to use when I had this pack back in the UK a long time ago. Now these are fantastic if you want to introduce a new vocabulary word to children. They have them in kind of like an easy version and a harder version. So I'm just going to choose this autumn term one here, just to kind of show you quickly. Now, personally, I was doing a word of the week instead of word of the day, but I suppose you can use it whatever way you want to use it. So you've got, sorry, I'll zoom out there a bit. You've got the word of the day and then how to pronounce it underneath. You've got its classification at the side, if it's a noun or a verb, that type of thing. And then down the bottom, it gives you some synonyms, antonyms, prefix and suffixes. That for me is more targeted towards the upper end of primary school here. I know in the UK they explicitly teach that kind of English to children, but there's not so much of a focus on it here, especially in the junior end of primary school. But I do think it's a good resource regardless, for if you want to teach kids new words. At least all the new words are there ready for you in a pack. You don't have to go thinking up of new words all the time. You can just have them at a touch of a button and you download the words that you want to introduce your kids to each week. Now there's plenty of ways you can do this in a fun way. I remember seeing a teacher in the UK roll up these words and put them into a balloon, and then she had balloons all over the classroom and she'd pop one every week and they'd have a new word of the week, and that's just the way they did it. But that's your word of the day resource. But I also saw this one the other day that I didn't know of before, and this could be good for both upper and lower ends of primary, because there is an easier version and a harder version of this. And it basically just, I suppose, allows children to look at a word, whatever word you've chosen. This could be done, I suppose, over distance learning as well, and getting them to pick out the definition, use it in a sentence, add prefixes, that kind of thing. And then the easier version down here, yeah, so again, it could be any word. That I felt this one could be used for maybe second class. Choose a word, it could be from the word of the week or whatever, get the children to find the definition of it, get them to look it up in a dictionary or whatever, get them to draw a picture of how that word means for them, and then to use it in a sentence. And I also like how they've got the proper lines on it for the kids to use as well. So yeah, that is two resources then, two different. I'm just going to give you one last look through the site for what you get your subscription for. It is £20. If you use code Rebecca, you'll get it for £18, which is an absolute steal in my eyes. It is an affiliate link, which means I get a small percentage of your purchase at no extra cost to you. This is my last pack that I have adored. It's a comprehension pack, which is probably ideal for distance learning at the moment if you wanted to set children a comprehension based off one of your topics that you're doing at the moment. But if you just have a quick look through them, they're all based on really interesting topics. So if you've covered the Vikings before, if you've done World War II, anything, I just think it's super, because I know a lot of the kids love facts, so even like stuff like the Arctic, I can just see it being a really interesting comprehension for them. But yeah, I literally could sit here talking to you all day through this site, but I'm going to leave it there. There are plenty of freebies on this site, but if you do decide to purchase, make sure to get your 10% off by using my code.